Okay, here is something quite nice. It's a European box speeder bike from 1983-84, and there's quite a few variations on this box. Sometimes it's called a Moto Speedo, something like that, and that looks pretty, but this is probably an earlier version. It's got languages, English and German, Dutch on this side, and on the other side it's got French and Spanish. And I had this in the Kenner box. I've still got it stashed away, but you know, this was quite a good vehicle, and it's quite useful because I mean, now with the Force Awakens they've got a modern version of the speeder bike. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Should have left the page open. Oh man, everyone's buying modern stuff. Oh, here it is. There's the new speeder bike that comes with a figure. That's £20, but this is like the original 80s version, which we had when we were kids, and it's nicely displayed. Great artwork with the Chief Chirper and the Biker Scout. I can show you those figures in a minute. This is UKG graded 75. Return of the Jedi speeder bike, non-sealed, 1983, Canadian. This isn't Canadian though. This is European. So they made a mistake there. It's not Canadian. The Canadian one's different. But you can see it's got the what you could do with the speeder bike in those days. It had an exploding feature, made in Taiwan, and you know, this is early graded, so it'd be graded now, it'd be qualified Q, so it'd be 75Q. Age 8 is 4 and up. This is the other side, so you've got the French Meccano logo there, speeder bike, and then you've got the Spanish PBB logo there, and the two characters. So I can show you the Chief Chirper there. This is from my childhood. Great figure there. Hong Kong, Lucasfilm 1983. Simple figure, just like the new Force Awakens figures. And I also got the speeder bike pilot. He was one of the first Return of the Jedi figures I ever got, so he's a bit more tatty than this one. Got a bit of damage there. 1983, Hong Kong. Quite a nice figure. Long mask. There's a short mask variation, which is the Mexican version. So you've got the two figures that would have cut. You need to recreate that scene. And here's the actual speeder bike. Good vehicle from a long time ago. I'll go to the English side of the box. Action figures sold separately, so all you got was the vehicle, and you know, it was still good fun. I remember I got my original one. I got it from Tesco's in Portobello Road, and this is the European box, which is far rarer than the Kenner US box, but the Canadian box would be just as rare as this. UKG75, but this is the old UKG style label. It's sealed on one side, not sealed on this side, but everything's mint and complete. Really nice item from 1983-84. So 31, 32 years old now. Great toy. The speeder bike. Okay. There you go, another look. Speeder bike. There's quite a few variations in this sort of packaging. The European ones didn't have the back flap as well, they just came in a box like this, whereas the Kenner and Canadian one have a flap, probably the Lily Ledy as well. Okay, cheers, bye. Right there, have another look. Sun's come out a bit, so it's get a better view of it. Really nice figure, vehicle really. Great artwork on the box, the black with the racetrack, single racetrack, Return Jedi logo. Languages, Dutch, German. And it says contains one vehicle with speed flaps and breakaway front end. And then here at the bottom it says in French and then Spanish, I guess. And then you've got this side with the French logo, Meccano, and the Spanish PBB logo. This vehicle is made in Taiwan, I believe. It would have been made in Hong Kong, maybe in Macau as well. That's a nice item. Okay. Cheers. Okay, another look at the speeder bike. And you can see it's got the sort of green background, which is like the early Star Wars stuff, because most Return of the Jedi stuff has like sand or trees and stuff in the background, but this one's just plain green. And this was one of the first vehicles to come out back in the day in '83, and you know, very popular toy. Can be found in a really rare Power of the Force pack with 2 Stormtroopers and a couple of Ewoks, I think. That's a European product package, Power of the Force. And I think the rarest version of this would be the Mexican Lily Ledy version. I'm sure the Lily Ledy did do this. Then you'd have the Canadian, the European and the US versions in boxes. But you know, this is, well, while everyone else is collecting stuff on Force Friday, I got this instead, which is, you know, a sure thing. Okay, so that's your speeder bike from 1983. Great artwork on the box. You can see in those days, because they had no knee articulation, the speeder bike pilot had to sit like this. I think the new one for Force Awakens has bendable knees. But I mean, speeder bike figures have now been fully articulated. It seems like Hasbro wants to go back to this sort of limited articulation. I wouldn't mind getting the Black Series speeder bike, that looks pretty cool. Okay, and there's your French logo and your Spanish PBB logo and the languages. Okay, so this was sold all over Europe, UK, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, places like that, and Benelux as well.